Two more champions were crowned this past weekend at Phoenix. Of course, Austin Cindric won the title on Saturday. Chase Elliott won the title on Sunday. We'll get to all that here in just a moment. Of course, we also will have a message to Jimmie fans and Jimmie Johnson in general. But before we do that, I do want to apologize. This was just going to be one video Saturday night, one video Sunday night, and unfortunately it just didn't work out. Unfortunately, my schedule got a little busy, so we're just going to combine the two of them and try to make this as short as possible. So here we go. Let's start with the 22 team Austin Cindric. Of course, we got a caution for Chase Briscoe spinning with 2 laps to go, and you got to feel for him. 9 wins this year. He didn't even finish with the championship. Of course, that's a disappointment. But at the same time, Austin Cindric pitted under that caution. Many were saying, oh, he should stay out, he should stay out. Now, had he stayed out, we would have seen deja vu from last year. Or, I'm sorry, not last year, Friday night, when Sheldon Creed pitted. And, of course, he would have gotten beat pretty bad had they restarted and he was not on fresh tires. So you can't really fault him there for wanting the fresh rubber. And one thing that shocks me about this is, while Austin Cindric definitely earned his right to race for the title and as well win it, he's had a good year. Give him credit there. He was very quiet in the playoffs up till that point. He wasn't really heard from, he wasn't really seen. That's kind of a little iffy, but hey, he got the title. Of course, Noah Gragson had a chance to play teammate to help out Justin Allgaier, who stayed out on the racetrack. And, the big question is, did Gragson hurt Allgaier? And I believe, in a way, he did. Looking back at it, though, again, team orders are not necessary. But you would think there that Noah Gragson would try to be a better teammate, and do whatever he can to hold up that charging number 22. But, again, frankly as well, they're very lucky they didn't wreck each other there, because they touched coming to the white flag. They were 3 wide for the lead coming to the white. I think Cindric banged off of Allgaier, and they were very lucky there, because it could have very well been Justin Haley winning the championship. That's a very real possibility. But at the end of the day, Austin Cindric prevailed, and I'm happy for Austin. Again, he deserved it. He'll get a chance to defend his title next year, which should be very interesting, and we'll see how that plays out for him. And of course, should it have been Briscoe? Yeah, it should have been, but sometimes things happen, unfortunately. So now we move on to the Cup side. Who won the championship again? I'm sorry, I'm gonna gloat a little bit here. Yeah, I was very happy. Chase Elliott is the 2020 season champion. If you had asked me after some of the races that he blew at Darlington, at other tracks, if you had asked me if he was going to be the champion of the series, especially after Joey Logano won at Kansas, I would have said you're a fool. I would have said he's not winning this championship. There's just no way he's going to do it. But he surprised me. He came out and he failed pre-race inspection. I said, this almost guarantees Hamlin's going to win this title, if not Brad Keselowski. And I said Hamlin and Keselowski probably the 2 favorites, I believe, entering this race. And Keselowski kind of lived up to that, but his pit crew really royally messed up things for him. And keep in mind, his pit crew pitted Austin Cindric yesterday. So you gotta wonder, maybe did they party too hard? Did they exhaust themselves? Something wasn't right with that two team, and I'm shocked mid-race Roger didn't do something like, say, to the 12 crew, go down there and pit him or something. But it was just brutal to watch. I mean, you knew Brad Keselowski had the best car entering the day, and it showed at the end of stage 2 when he won it. He was definitely better than Chase, but those bad pit stops put him in bad situations, and they just got him pinned in lap traffic. Once he got around Joey Logano in stage 3, he really had no time to get to Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott had pulled away, and again, another thing that's remarkable that you can take from this race, just how even those cars were through the first, or up till about the end, when Chase Elliott had a clear advantage. Whatever adjustment they made for the long run sure helped them, and it set them above the rest. But Chase Elliott is your champion. It is confirmed. It certainly didn't look like that at the start of the day, but he persevered, and, you know, he was going to be a champion eventually. I don't question that. It was going to happen eventually. Now, could it have happened next year? I wasn't sure, honestly. I think it could have happened down the road. But the fact that it happened this year was nothing short of phenomenal. He's now the third youngest champion in the NASCAR Cup Series. And guess what? He's still got years ahead of him. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. And another thing, if I go back another few weeks here, I said the Kyle Larson hiring is going to be a huge distraction for this group. I said, don't make that announcement. We all knew back in September this was going down. But I had said, don't make that announcement until you know the season's over, because it's similar to hiring a head coach that's an offensive coordinator on a Super Bowl team. You can't do that because it's nothing but a distraction. And, maybe I was wrong there, because I'm wondering, maybe was Chase, obviously Chase was motivated. Many people have been talking him down over the years, saying he's just a silver spoon kid, he's NASCAR's golden boy. You can say what you want. If you say that this was rigged in his favor, you did not watch the same race I did. You don't just drive through the field like that and win a championship. And, he ran very well, ultimately. He had the best pit crew of the day, I would say. And it just shows, to the naysayers who also said at the beginning of the season that said Alan Gustafson's not the right guy, it should be someone else. Not for nothing, Alan Gustafson has been a top-tier crew chief for years. He's proven time and time again he can win races. He just needed that championship. And he finally got it. And of course, he should have had one possibly with Jeff Gordon. That would have been really cool. But the fact that he took Jeff Gordon to his championship for appearance before his retirement, then, of course, like I said, he's won 11 races with Chase, and it's only the beginning of this long-term, hopefully long-term pairing. But I think one thing that also sets this out here is that Chase is now the definitive leader of this organization. That's now Jimmie Johnson-less. Okay, he's now the undisputed leader of this team. He's won the championship to prove it. Even with Kyle Larson coming in, Kyle Larson's going to be a leader in his own respect. But Chase Elliott is the undisputed leader of this team. And again, another thing is this puts years and years of Chevy disappointment behind them as well. This is another big thing about the championship. Okay, this puts those years behind them. They didn't win the Manufacturers' Championship, but it puts a long drought behind them. Years without a championship driver. And on top of it, news broke after the race. Bob Pockrass had stated that this was a combination of an ECR and a Hendrick motor. Keep in mind, next year, Chevy is going to have just one engine. And it's going to experience growing pains, but I would say this start had some promise to it. So we'll see how that translates to next year. Of course, the Chevy camp going to be a little different. And again, they're going to experience growing pains. Richard Childress, Rick Hendrick. It's going to happen, but we'll see how they adjust to it. Anyway, I want to just wrap this video up. I'm trying to see how long I've gone. Okay, I've done a decent amount of time. Again, I want to just say a credit to NASCAR, and I want to say a credit to NASCAR to get all these races in after a pandemic. It by far was the most challenging season, and again, I stated it on Friday that it showed who the best of the best were, and I stand by that statement. It showed today, and it showed yesterday. It shows who the best of the best are in that garage area. It shows who the best of the best driver-wise is, and it shows ultimately the best pairings. And definitely it showed, for those naysayers who said Alan Gustafson's he's the one holding up Chase, he just won a championship. And you could say he didn't deserve to be there, but winning at Martinsville says otherwise. And keep in mind, I've said it, if he had not lost some of those races, there's a potential this would have been a big 3. So, again, I stand by those statements that I made yesterday. And again, I'm preaching the same thing about this as I was the trucks as far as my season recap. So now I want to deliver a personal message to the Jimmie Johnson fan base and to the driver himself, Jimmie Johnson, and of course Chad Knaus. So, of course, for those who've known me very well, I've not kept it as a secret that I've not liked Jimmie Johnson. Plain and simple. I was never a fan of him. I did not enjoy watching him race, and I didn't want to watch him race. But at the end of the day, he was a champion. He was a 7-time champion, and that's something you don't see in this sport anymore. This is something only very few, obviously Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, have accomplished that. And yes, you could say it's different times, and maybe he wouldn't have won 7 in that system, but he won 7 nonetheless. And not to mention, one of them, of course, one of them was in this championship format, but the other 6 were in the playoff format. And keep in mind, to win 5 straight is nothing short of remarkable. And it shows over the years. Sure, he hasn't won since 2017, but it just shows how dominant of a driver he was. It shows in his prime what he was able to do, and he was just a great personality in the sport. And for that, even though I'm not a fan of him, I can always respect that, and I definitely take that for granted, and I definitely have over the years. I've taken a lot of it for granted, and I tried to keep denying it. He's not the best. He wouldn't be the best if he won 14 championships. But we can't deny it anymore. He is no doubt going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and if he's not, this system is a disappointment. So, again, I want to congratulate Jimmie Johnson, and me as an IndyCar fan, I'm looking forward to seeing him in a Chip Ganassi car next year. I don't know about you. And, you know, hopefully IndyCar works out for the best for him. Again, it's, you know, at the end of the day, he's accomplished what many drivers in the sport will never accomplish in their career. So, despite how much I've hated him over the years, I can respect everything he's done. And ultimately, he's gonna go down. I don't think necessarily the greatest, but he will go down as one of the greatest to ever race the sport. And who knows, maybe he'll be back part-time next year with Chip Ganassi, and that would be, I think he should, personally, because he really didn't give the fans a proper goodbye, but we'll see how he feels about that. And we'll see what happens in the coming days, or as the season approaches in February, what will happen. Alright, we want to thank you for watching, as well to Clint and to Matt Kenseth. Very spectacular careers. Congratulations to them on retirement. And I can't wait to hear Clint Boyer in the booth next year. That's #1 on my list of things I'm looking forward to next year. So we'll see what happens. Also, big news tonight was that Krista Voda is stepping away from her position. I can't really say I've watched much of what she's done, but congratulations to her on her next chapter, hopefully. It's what she, you know, again, it's nice to see her pursue something, whatever it is that she's going to do. You know, it's nice to get a change of scenery once in a while, I guess. Anyway, now we want to thank you for watching. Be sure to like or dislike, hit that subscribe button, click on the bell for our notifications, and of course, follow us on social media. That's a lot to remember, but there's one more thing two more things actually I want you to remember. Two more things. Bear with me, and I know I give you a lot to remember. Be sure to subscribe to our friends over there, Heartland Spirit. Be sure to subscribe to them. The Canteen Podcast every single Friday at 6:15 Eastern on YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern on Spotify. Tune in. I'm sure they'll be talking a lot about the championship this week. They're giving their thoughts and opinions on what went down, so I hope you will tune in for that. And we should have an announcement very soon as well, so keep an eye out on this channel. Till then, goodbye everyone.